Yes, ma'am.
Good morning. Good morning, Mr. Chairman and committee members. My name is Amy Donarski, and I live in Livingston Parish with my husband and our 4 children. Thank you for the opportunity to let me speak today. I am here today to plead with you to appropriate the funds needed to restore rates to home and community-based providers who serve individuals with disabilities back up to their 2008 level rates. In fact, the current reimbursement rates haven't actually covered the cost of services for 10 years now. My youngest son, Aiden, he's 11 years old. He has level 3 autism spectrum disorder and intellectual disability. He is completely nonverbal and has challenging behaviors. Aiden requires full assistance to feed him, to dress him, change his diapers, and keep him safe from harm. He's self-injurious, and like a lot of children with autism, he wanders, which always requires him to be under complete supervision. He was placed on the waiver waiting list in 2011. I wasn't sure how we were going to make it 13 years, as that was the average wait for the waiver, but I didn't have another option. Thankfully, changes were made, and our wait was only 7 years. And since we were in an urgent situation, and waivers are now based on urgency, we got our offer in July of 2018. I can't even begin to describe to you the weight that was lifted off of our shoulders. We were finally going to be able to get the help that we needed for Aiden. As soon as I met with my support coordinator, I began calling all the providers that were on the Freedom of Choice list. I called every single provider, but unfortunately not a single one was able to take Aiden on as a client. The providers were either out of business, they had no available workers for Aiden, they didn't serve the area that I lived, or they couldn't afford travel pay for their workers to travel to my house. I was so frustrated. What good is a waiver if I can't use it? It's now April, 9 months later, and I still am no better off. I don't have a worker for him. Provider agencies have been cut so deeply that they can't even serve the very people they are in business to serve. If we don't do something to restore the rates, I'm terrified of the future of our home and where Aiden will go. Families like mine exist all over the state. We are desperately trying to keep families together and ensure that our children with developmental disabilities have the services they need to have meaningful relationships and included in their schools and communities. Without this restore, families like mine aren't going to make it. We're going to have to resort to put them in an institution, which is going to cost the state significantly more money. And he'll have a poor quality of life. He deserves to be with his family, just like every other 11-year-old child does. Please appropriate the necessary funds to ensure providers get a rate restore, which will allow them to hire and maintain a strong workforce that is needed to ensure Aiden and others with developmental disabilities can remain in their homes and in their communities with their families where they want to be, where they deserve to be. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.